Hello again everyone, Aaron Mortimer from Mariner Insurance. Today we're here with Richard Hulston. Richard's from Independent Rigging. They're based in Auckland, they travel around all the marinas in Auckland, and we're here to talk about yacht rigging. Well, Richard, good to see you here. Maybe tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been doing what you're doing?
So rigging now for all my working career really, so it's 35 plus years. Started back in the day with Terry Gillespie's, and he was the rigger, probably in the Southern Hemisphere. You know. He was a man, great company to be working with there. We've progressed, we've been travelled to the UK, we've done super yacht industry, we've done the performance industry, Volvos, Whitbread, Volvos, America's Cup, etc., go through the whole passage. So right now we've set up Independent Riggers a bunch of years ago. We're based at Half Moon Bay Marina, and I've got 5 guys working for me, some really good guys, good enthusiastic young guys, which we like to bring up through the ranks. We have the hard stand, the marina facilities there. We find it a really good base to bring boats to. We've got a gantry, we have a really nice hard stand and really good team over there. All the facilities we need, sparkies, engineers, boat builders, all that gear. And we, and as you've said, we're fully mobile. So we work the far north to every marina in Auckland and also in the Pacific Islands at the moment. So
tell us, in most Kiwi yachts, they're sort of could range from, pretty new to pretty old. There are 2 types of rigging we'll probably find on Kiwi yachts. Can you give us a bit of an idea of what they are and any characteristics of them?
90% of the yachts you'll find will have 1x19 stainless steel wire rigging. Once you go through there's a couple of different versions. You might have the more performance orientated, which is the diaphragm rigging, but basically it's 1x19 and then you move on to rod rigging.
And what are there any benefits or disadvantages of either type?
Rod rigging was introduced as a more performance orientated. It was smaller in diameter, had a lot less stretch, and so the performance guys like it. It's now going, really stepping into the cruising division. It's simple, it's clean, it's really tidy gear. But still 1x19 is the majority by far.
And what sort of lifespan do you, it's a bit of a tough question, but as a rigger, where do you see the sort of lifespan of stainless rigging?
It is an awkward one. We have a lot of people, like it gets to 10 years and we sort of encourage to say, listen, sort of an industry standard, 8 to 10 years, you really need to be looking at it. No one wants to stand back and go, no, should be right, mate, anymore. And that's from the chain plat pin through to the rig, tie rods, etc. The rod has an advantage in that you can disassemble, say, every 4 years, and polish it, clean it, and do it in NDT, and it's easy to rehead a rod, where we only lose the diameter times.
So NDT, non-destructive testing. So what does that involve?
It's a clean and polish and die pen, and we can also get a company like SDS, for example, and they will stamp it, give you a stamp of approval. But it's the rod rigging. Yes, it's more expensive, etc. But you can cut, cut and rehead, and use all the same fittings, same foils. So you're all set up again. The wire, though, although we say 8 to 10 years, you have to be super careful. Even brand new boats, maybe 2-3 years old, and we're seeing it more and more. Because people are buying boats out of Europe, saying they're living their dream when they're sailing them down here. We do an inspection, go, mate, you've got broken strands. It shouldn't be, but it is what it is. So the regular inspection.
So that's you guys do inspections as well?
All the time.
And it's probably a good thing for winter, isn't it? For an owner, before they go cruising in summer or even a bit of racing, you'll get someone up the rig.
And you'll get a better response from the average rigger. So you're a couple of weeks out of Christmas or Labour weekend and you get the phone call, I've got to get this inspection done for my insurance policy, and you're really whipping hair out trying to squeeze the time in to find it. But it's a visual inspection only. We go from the top to the bottom, and with heaps of photographs if need be, and it's a good thing to do because it starts like a service schedule, if you like. So the guy knows, the owners of the boat know that I've had the riggers up there, I've done what I can do. And if we find issues, it might even just be a chafed rope or a light hanging off or something basic, or it could be more sinister. And
more sinister could be broken strands, and they just slowly rev on the top. Naked eye from the deck, you wouldn't see it, would you?
No, and you hate seeing that. Like we've just done one recently, like 7 years old, a month before they hit off to Fiji. 60-foot, big 60-foot benefit, like a lovely boat, lovely people, and you got to come down with this information to them. So this is what's happened. Nothing they've done wrong.
No, exactly.
But it's just the kit, and it's done a lot of miles, so you need to get those inspections done.
Okay, cool. So just to cover off some of that insurance angle, as far as Mariner is concerned, if somebody rings us up and says, I've got a boat that's got 15-year-old rigging. What do you insure it? Well, we like to get a survey, we like to get a rig inspection so we know what we're getting into. But the key thing to note is, similar to where Richard's coming from, we have a bit of an informal idea that once the boat gets to 10 years, the rigging's 10 years old, it needs to get replaced. Now, boat insurance policies, they're pretty much standard in that there's standard exclusions, and that's corrosion, wear and tear, and issues like that. Now, you've got a stainless steel wire in a corrosive marine environment that's got a whole lot of hardware attached to it. It's part of a system, and if the system fails, because it's worn, because it's corroded, then it's unlikely you're going to be able to succeed with an insurance claim. Now, insurance policies are really designed to protect you from unforeseen accidents and losses, and if you're running around in a boat that's sort of got 20-year-old standing rigging and it fails, it's not unforeseen that your 20-year-old stainless steel rigging fails. What would be some of the oldest rigging you've seen on some boats around town, Richard?
Oh, we could go right back to the original days when they used to have a socket and a poured lead, something
right.
like, we're going way back in the days, and back then it was a no-no, not still hanging in there.
Yeah.
But basically, you're saying 20, 25 years.
Yeah, so you're still seeing boats with...
Right.
Yeah.
And lots of boats are just I don't know, they just keep rolling on policy. They're just oblivious to it, basically.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
That's sad, they come alongside and want a rig inspection. We don't even want to get up the rigs.
No, exactly.
So
you wouldn't trust your life up there, so why would you be out sailing at 35 knots?
And I don't want to send my boys up there if
No,
I don't want to do
enough.
it. But so 2025 for sure.
Yeah.
It gets, when we start getting into those numbers, though, like the 12, the 15, you really, have to look at it.
Really marginal.
Really marginal. And there's a bunch of gear out there, which it's lasted, but it doesn't age well.
Yeah, it's on its time. It's time to get replaced.
Yeah,
Like you replace, lots of people wouldn't bat an eyelid on replacing stuff in your car, but I guess, components that are wearing and stuff that should be replaced just affect the life of you on a yacht. You've got to do something about your rigging.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Now, Richard, probably a good question to ask is in terms of being a yacht owner, what can a yacht owner do? They've got their boat, they've got their rig. What sort of monthly or sort of bi-monthly or 6 monthly things should they be looking for in their own rigs?
To basically walk around the boat and educate themselves what they might be looking for. We don't expect them to get up the rigs. Nice if they can, it's always quite nice. But, you don't need to. But walk around making sure that everything is still done up. The pins haven't dropped out, the clevis pins, the chain plates. There's not a rust streak running down something, for example. It's a really good telltale. Go forward and also check the tune of the rig. If you're sailing along and you're punching your way back from the bottom of Waiheke on a Sunday afternoon and the Lord stays are loose, or there seems to be excessive forestay sag, and all those add to the wear and tear. It's pumping, it's moving, you want to lock it in. You don't have to bone it up, but you need to lock it in. And your heads will feel it might be getting harder to feel. Yeah, good point. There's a reason for that, and they can really bite you hard if you start getting heli wraps, etc.
That's a good point about rig tunes. I mean, even if you're not a racer, if you're a cruiser, it's still a idea to get your rig because you want to sail as fast as you can wherever you're going, but you want to reduce the load on the rig as well. Is that right?
Yeah, the average racer understands his boat and what he's looking for. He's got topmasts and he probably wants runners and he knows the kit. As a cruising guy, you're sailing around and you might have a couple of rolls in your jib and a reef. And nowadays, a stowaway mainsails. So all that, if that's not tuned in, it just makes, especially the new production boats, the shallow drafts and all that sort of stuff, it just hinders the whole performance. So if you can tighten it up and get it all slotted in properly, all the trimming and the rig tension's correct, then it just makes us such a nicer day. So, like I say, an inspection and a tune, and it just helps.
It's probably a good idea if a lot of cars, older cars have got annual warrants of fitness. It's probably a good idea to sort of think about a rig inspection and a rig tune in winter as part of your warrant of fitness for your boat.
I think it's for us to have the guys, say for example in West Haven, and we go this boat, this one, and this one. Get up the rigs. It's inexpensive. And it's probably good value for money.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. And then the guys know they've got an invoice and they can put that somewhere to prove to
somebody.
We've got some insurance. And we've had some inspections done.
No, that's a fair point. Cool.
And the new boats. Sorry, I'm cutting. But the new boats, a lot of the guys, almost the first boats for them too. You
Yep.
know, and they buy their brand new boat and
Yep.
a stunning thing and they're happy as,
Yep.
and it drives away. But you know, it's a whole new set of rigging in
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and it's really nice to have how much yachting you've done. You've done done for 6 months or a couple of good 20 knot rigs. Let us come back, tune it up again.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It stretches in place and settles in.
What's the youngest or what's the newest rigging that you've seen fail?
2 to 3 years.
Wow. And what was the mode of failure? Where did it?
It's broken strands.
Broken strands, the actual wire itself.
Yeah, and they are recent. There is a common thing here in that these boats were commissioned offshore.
Right.
And they've done some miles.
Yep.
But you'd like to think that they were lasting more than say
Yeah.
the Mediterranean,
Yeah.
Panama through
Yeah.
here, living
Yeah.
the dream roll
Yeah,
way
exactly.
down here.
Yeah.
And they're broken strands. They
Yeah.
are like, well,
Borrowed time until the.
yeah, we don't know. You don't
Yeah.
expect to see it.
Yeah.
But that's why
what you
you
see.
need to keep an eye on
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Well, that's nearly about it from us. Thanks very much, Richard. Great to have you along. As we mentioned earlier, Richard's from Independent Riggers. His website's independentriggers.co.nz. If you want to get in touch with Richard or any of his team, get in touch through the website. And until we see you next time, happy sailing. Thanks a lot.